Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It's time for my third NFL mock draft, and then after the mock draft, I will be here to talk about some of the interesting things I see in this 2017 NFL draft. I hope you enjoy. All right, so there you go. That is my third 2017 NFL mock draft. A lot of changes since the second one that I made 2 weeks ago. And remember, these mock drafts come out at least every other week. And I think next week I want to have a mock draft. I'll actually do a 2016 NFL redraft. I think that'd be more fun to do next week because there won't be too many changes in the upcoming weeks. Although the Senior Bowl is coming up, so we have to look out for that. So I changed, firstly, at number 2, the San Francisco 49ers take Reuben Foster. And more I'm hearing and I'm seeing that a lot of NFL scouts actually prefer Foster over Jonathan Allen. And that's something that I did not project happening before this process really began. But now that we're really getting into it, it looks like a lot of teams would take Foster over Allen. So if Foster is within the range of Jonathan Allen, I think the 49ers would prefer to take Foster because he's a better fit right now for what they need. They could take Allen still, but right now I think Foster has now become a little more likely. The Jags still take Leonard Fournette. The Titans, now they go back to Jamal Adams. It'll be interesting to see how much they like Mike Williams. I mean, I will be shocked, honestly. Not too shocked, but surprised if the Titans take Mike Williams over Jamal Adams and Malik Hooker, because to me, Adams and Hooker are better prospects, and they both would help fix your secondary, which you severely need. Mike Williams would help fix your wide receiving core. Okay, that's great, but John Robinson strikes me as a general manager that prefers best player available, or at least better players or higher ranking on the big board than just need. Okay, so I think Jamal Adams and Malik Hooker are more likely than Mike Williams, but we'll see as this process continues. The Jets, now they take DeShone Kizer, number 6 overall, and I've started to watch these prospects now, and I really like Kizer. Not too much, but I think he can be a pretty good start in the NFL, okay? And I think teams are going to see that. They're going to see his traits. With him, it's more so looking at his traits, his arm, his talent, his ability to be his prototypical build, and all the traits that you see that resemble a Cam Newton or a Jameis Winston that have been pretty successful in the NFL. I think teams are going to fall in love with that. So I now have DeShone Kizer being the first quarterback taken in the 2017 NFL draft, but Trubisky is still close to me. We look at Solomon Thomas going number 8 to the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers are going to have an interesting choice. They could elect to draft a running back, but they do need a pass rusher, and Solomon Thomas is just going up draft boards. I mean, this guy is soaring lately, and I think he'd be a great fit with the Carolina Panthers. Now, he'd probably be a left defensive end, which would not be great for them because they could use a right one, but still, I think it'd be a nice fit for this Panthers team. And I think I like this projection right now. We look at Mike Williams going number 9 to the Bengals, and I don't love this pick, to be honest with you, but I struggle now with the Bengals pick with Reuben Foster off of the board, with some other players off of the board. I mean, the Bengals would love to take an offensive tackle. They could take a cornerback here, but I think with Mike Williams available, he would likely be the best player on their board at this point outside of Dalvin Cook, and I think that's who they take, but they could take Dalvin Cook as well. I struggle with the Bengals here, to be honest. I also struggle with the Browns at number 12. And I went with Corey Davis. And I know what Browns fans are going to say. We don't need a wide receiver. And I agree, right? But then I thought about it. Okay, the Browns don't need a wide receiver. They don't need a nose tackle. They don't need a running back. They don't need... Wait a minute. Why do they go 1-15? Oh, yeah, because they need stuff. They need talent. Okay, so even though you do have a Terrell Pryor, you do have a Corey Coleman, let's have another wide receiver in there. Hey, now we have too many wide receivers. Good. You guys could use positions where you have too much talent. So I think at number 12, they just take the best player available. It could be Dalvin Cook, but that's too much of a stretch for me because they really don't need a running back. They could use a wide receiver, but but they really couldn't use a running back, so I went with Corey Davis over Dalvin Cook. And Dalvin Cook falls all the way down to 14. But before him, we have David Njoku, the tight end out of Miami, going number 13 to the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinal fans won't like this, but look, Jermaine Gresham has not been a great tight end for your football team, and David Njoku is soaring up draft boards. Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com, former NFL scout, he had him number 13 on his big board, and he has him going 18 to the Tennessee Titans. You are going to see David Njoku's name attached and attributed to the Cardinals a lot more moving forward. Apparently, scouts like him over even O.J. Howard, the other tight end out of Alabama. So this may seem like a reach, but trust me, in 2, 3, 4 weeks, it won't. We look at 14 now. Dalvin Cook falls all the way down to the Colts, and honestly, I don't see him falling this far. But at the same time, I had a hard time picking him or slotting him to the Browns or to the Cardinals or to the Saints or to the Bills. It's just not happening. The Bengals, the Panthers, it could. It may be a little too early. Apparently, teams aren't as high on him as I thought they'd be, at least, or as high I am, because I'm pretty high on this kid. So we'll see where he goes. 14 to the Colts, I think it's possible, but it's probably not likely because he's just too talented to me to fall this far. But hey, we've seen talented players fall before in the draft before. We look at number 18 now. The Tennessee Titans, they take Sidney Jones out of Washington, and Sidney Jones is a guy that I'm seeing higher and higher on draft boards, so you will see that reflected in my mock draft. Remember, my mock draft has nothing to do with my big board, okay? Personally, like a guy like DeShone Watson should not be taken in the first round under almost any circumstances, unless if you're the Chiefs or the Texans, pretty much. And still, someone's going to take him there, so fine. I'll have him in the first round, but if I see guys in the first round on other big boards, that's really what I'm putting here. Because my job when I'm making a mock draft is to predict the draft. Period. I don't care. Some people say, how could you not have DeShone Watson in the top 5? How could you not have, Jonathan Allen going number 1 overall? Look, I don't care what you think. I don't care what I think. I care what's going to happen. That's my job, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do today and moving forward. We look at 20. O.J. Howard goes to the Denver Broncos, and okay, the Broncos don't need much, okay? This is their first problem. Actually, it's not really a problem, it's a good thing. They could use a quarterback, they could use offensive lineman, they could use a running back. You could see Christian McCaffrey go here, but that was just too high for me. So I went with O.J. Howard, okay? Virgil Green, their current tight end, hasn't been great. He's not very explosive, not very dynamic, whatever. I could see John Elway falling in love with an O.J. Howard, a very athletic tight end with a lot of potential, and believing that this guy could help their passing offense become elite again, or they would hope, okay, it's probably not going to be, but hope to become elite again, so I think John Elway could go here. You see Derek Barnett at number 21, he falls all the way down to the Detroit Lions, and that is a huge fall for him, but it seems like teams aren't that high on him, and I can't believe it, because I like Derek Barnett, but teams aren't that high on him, and it's my job to do what? To predict the draft. We move on to 25, okay? The Houston Texans take DeShone Watson, and I don't love this fit or this pick, to be honest. Right now, DeShone Watson appears to be poised to go late first round, okay? That's where it appears to be to me, because there is such a high need at the quarterback position, and the Texans, although a lot of people believe they're suitors for Tony Romo and some other veteran quarterbacks, I don't see that happening. They're already dedicating so much money to the quarterback position. You can't spend another $20 million on Tony Romo. Then you're spending over almost $40 million on the quarterback position for your cap. That's too much. So they take a quarterback in the draft, in the first round of the draft, and DeShone Watson is not a great fit for their system at all. Bill O'Brien likes accurate quarterbacks. DeShone Watson is not, most of the time. Well, most of the time he's actually accurate, but a lot of the time he's inaccurate, okay, and that's the problem. So I don't love this fit. I don't love this pick, but I could see the Texans getting desperate. You heard Bill O'Brien say, we're going to do something at the quarterback position, and I would presume something is at least taking a quarterback by the 3rd round. So if DeShone Watson is available in the first, I could see the Texans pulling the trigger. I had this in this mock. Don't be surprised if I don't have it in the next one, but this is a possible scenario, so let's just see how it would partake. We look at Cam Robinson. he falls all the way down to 26. Apparently, teams don't like Cam Robinson. He's a guy that's talented, yes, but he has issues, and teams aren't really willing to buy on him or buy into him. But the Seattle Seahawks, they do this all the time. They just watch as a lot of prospects fall, and they take him, or they take a guy with a third-round grade in the first round. It's like one or the other. So I have them taking Cam Robinson. We look at Jabril Peppers falling all the way down to 28 to the Dallas Cowboys. And I know, Cowboys fans, you don't need a strong safety. You have Barry Church, who's an upcoming free agent, by the way. And you also have J.J. Wilcox. But I think Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and this Dallas Cowboys front office that has shown a propensity for gambling on players with a lot of athleticism and upside, they would love to take Jabril Peppers here. And it appears as if Peppers is falling down. I was looking at a bunch of big boards, and the only big boards that still have him in the top 10 are Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, who both have him at number 9. Everyone else has him like below 30, okay? You saw Daniel Jeremiah have him at like 32, 33, something like that, something really low. Jabril Peppers is falling, and I haven't watched him yet, but apparently it's due to the fact that he really doesn't do too much very well, okay? In terms of his safety abilities, his instincts, his ball skills, he's not there yet. He's a prospect more so than Jamal Adams or even a Butter Baker, who I don't have going in the first round this time, but I really might have next time. So the Cowboys would gamble, okay? They would say, hey, let's take this guy, let's form him into something. We can even use him offensively, kick returns, whatever. We love special teams, blah, 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 crap, okay? They took Byron Jones, who's very similar to Jabril Peppers, although Jones does play free safety. I understand that. I can see the Cowboys taking a risk here. Christian McCaffrey goes to the Packers, and the Packers, I easily could have went with an outside linebacker like Takaris McKinley or Charles Harris here, but I think they're going to, I don't know what they're going to do, first of all, but Christian McCaffrey is possible. In last mock, I had the Packers taking an outside linebacker, so let me go back to the running back this time. I'll probably be going back and forth because I think someone's going to take Christian McCaffrey in the first round. Right now, I'm not really sure who, so you're going to see him slotted to the Raiders a couple of times, slotted to the Packers a couple of times until I find a really good, solid fit for him. For right now, I like him to go 29 to the Green Bay Packers. We look at Tim Williams going 31 to the Atlanta Falcons, and this is another guy that's falling. And I always thought he was overrated. I never understood so many guys that had him in the top 10 before the year. Even Mel Kiper had him number 1 on his big board before the season. I thought that was ridiculous. I haven't seen that much from Tim Williams. Yeah, he does have upside, but he's not a great pass rusher right now to me. So I understand his fall more so than some other players like Christian McCaffrey or some other guys as well, Cam Robinson, but I think he's going to go in the first round still, and he's a guy that still has a lot of upside, and the Falcons could use a defensive end. Also, he could play strong side linebacker in the NFL, so this would be a nice fit for them. Remember, Dan Quinn loves these young, aggressive, prototypical guys that can play multiple positions, versatility, and whatnot, so I think Dan Quinn would eat this up. We also have TJ Watt going number 30 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and teams are going to fall in love with TJ Watt. This is a guy that had a very good year this year for Wisconsin, brother of J.J. Watt, and he's not going to be his brother, but he's going to be pretty damn good. I think teams are going to fall in love with that, and he possesses a lot of versatility, and I think the Steelers would really love that. They're going to lose, to me, Jarvis Jones in free agency, and he hasn't been very good anyway, and maybe even Lawrence Timmons, they could use a linebacker, and they take one here. So there you go. Again, the mock draft can be found in the description box below, as well as earlier in this video. You saw it on the screen, and this is still only my 3rd mock draft. We still have a lot to learn. A lot of things will change in the upcoming weeks, months, days, crap, whatever. Okay, so we're going to see how things progress. Remember, 1 mock draft on this channel every 2 weeks at least. And next week will probably be a 2016 NFL redraft. So you want to stick around for that. Is there anything else I want to say? No. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.